It's Natasha from House Full of Nickels, and I am here to talk to you about CTC Math and how our online math curriculum is making this year a little bit more interesting and a lot less stressful. Yeah, we're only a weekend, guys. So we're going to tell you about CTC Math. If you are in the blog post, which I'm assuming you are right now, you can see my overall review of it. But I did want to let you know how it works with 2 second graders and a 4th grader and how they are using that to make their math lessons more intuitive for themselves, and how I don't feel like a failure for not being able to teach math in a way that I'm able to teach reading and science, because those are 2 subjects that I feel strongly in, and I don't want to pass off any of my insecurities with my children. You will see that CTC Math will allow you, as the parent or the teacher, the homeschooling teacher, or a teacher in general, if you are using it in your school setting, to set up your classroom and all of your students, and you can follow all of their lessons and their testing and their knowledge and things of that nature on the dashboard that you have. It's very intuitive, and it can also highlight questions or extra help that your students need in general, which makes it very, very beneficial, because you won't find yourself having to go over information that your students already know, right? Your kids, if they're anything like mine or anything like me, if they already know something, there's no purpose in you reteaching that for them. They get it. They understand it. They can apply it in future lessons, correct? Whereas if there's something within a particular unit that they need a little bit more help on, they can highlight that, and you can go and focus on that straightforward. This helps in a classroom setting too, obviously, because now you don't have to have all of your students go over a certain idea, because you know exactly what each and every single student is struggling with, and you don't have to trust them to let you know. Because, let's face it, it's slightly embarrassing, whether in a school setting or a homeschool setting, to raise your hand and say that you don't get something, especially if everyone else in your class gets it. Now, my kids have no problem telling me that they don't understand something, and that's cool too. They did. They used to. And we had to let them know that failing or not understanding is all a part of learning, and learning is the best part of being in school. So CTC Math, you'll see that we're also giving away a free 12-month subscription. You'll want to hop on that. You also want to play around in the system as a parent. Because I'm not video savvy, I can't switch to showing you how it looks on the dashboard. But you can do a 6-month trial and play around with it yourself. It does not take a lot of bandwidth. You're not storing anything on your hard drive. You don't have to worry about purchasing notebooks or paperwork or sheets, printing out anything. Everything is done online, including the tests and making sure that you understand the lessons that you've just gone through. They have a comprehensive, let me see, I'm looking at it while I'm recording with you all, so don't think that I'm ignoring you in the least. We do want to make sure, they want to make sure that you understand what's going on. So you're allowed to take comprehensive tests. You're allowed to also, big shout out to teachers all over, homeschooling, private and public schools, charters, whatever school you teach in, you're amazing. College, high school, all of that. You want to, you will see, and the reason I'm also not flipping it around is because we have passwords and sign-on, so we don't need you all to have that either. You're able to see your students right in the dashboard as soon as you sign on. You can add tasks that they need to do, so you can set up their morning work or their afternoon work or just their math work in general. They are able to sign on, see what tasks you have for them, and that way they can get started on them right away. It's amazing. It lets you know if any have expired or if you have any tasks that you scheduled for them coming up. Because I travel often for my job, I'm able to input the tasks and the lessons that they need to do each day with the date. So if my aunt or my mother or my in-laws are the ones in charge of homeschooling, the kids can just open up their Chromebooks and they can get started on whatever lessons that I have scheduled for them. That way, the adults with them know if they're really done, and my children know what they have to do without having to consult a notebook or call me while I'm away on business. They're able to just go in and see whatever is going on. So they have weekly reports, activity of each of your students, so you can tell if your children have actually been doing the work that they say that they've been doing. So if you are around, and we all know homeschooling is a very fluid process, right? So we can have lessons while I'm cooking dinner or making lunch or working, because I am a work from home mom, and they can sit at the kitchen table or in their bedrooms or on the couch and do the work that they have to do. So I don't have to go back and recheck to see if they've actually completed their lessons or their tests that we have started for them or slated for them. I can just go on to my dashboard to check and see. It's fantastic. And it lets you know by student. So it's not a comprehensive of all of the students at once. It's per student, and they let you see what they viewed. They let you see what lessons that they've completed and the questions that they've answered for those lessons. And what else I like about this is you can set the tasks. You can add a weekly revision set for your individual children. So it's not one and done at all, especially when you have grade levels, the same grade levels that I do. Right now, my twins are starting out second grade level, but I'm assuming that they're going to be in third and early fourth by the end of the school year. It depends on who moves faster and how much they pace themselves. I have a feeling that one will outpace, but it's not really a big deal. But it's convenient for me on this particular math curriculum, because I can pace them where they need to be instead of keeping them at the same level because they happen to be the same age, right? And then my oldest daughter, she's starting with third grade level and pushing up to fourth, because we struggled a little bit when we first started math with her, and that was on me. So now it's a way for the guilt of myself to be done away with, because I know that she's getting those lessons and they're building on steps, learning steps, so that when she does get to the level that we want her to be with, or the level that she's comfortable in, she'll have all of that knowledge from beforehand and the steps build up. And I know that we're doing it in a linear way, if that makes sense, and a way that makes sense to her. So we can build on all of those strengths that she needs in order to be at the level that she's going to do her best in. Okay. And then there are tools, of course. There are weekly reports. You will get a weekly report in your inbox, delivered right to your inbox, so you can see where they are. And you can also allow the other adult or the other math teacher. Had Nathaniel been here instead of away in college, he would be our summer math teacher, because he's amazing with math. He's a whiz kid, and he's able to answer questions in a way where the kids can understand it better than I can. I'm able to answer questions about science because that's my background. So it all works well. But I feel like this year is going to be great for us because of this curriculum, and I'm looking forward to using it all the way through. And the great thing it goes from kindergarten through high school. So you can use it for all grade levels. It's fantastic, guys. And it's a way for kids to self-pace without being bogged down to a book. And if you travel a lot like we do and you're on the road, it is amazing to have, because you can sign on when you have a Wi-Fi signal instead of having to tote a math book or textbooks or workbooks around with you, and pencils and paper and practice and all of that other stuff. It's just a great, great way to use a math curriculum if you want to minimize what's going on. I don't know if you see that bookshelf back there. It needs to be cleaned. It needs to be pared down, because it's just too much a little bit for us to have all of the curriculum that we do and try to keep track of it all at once. And this is only with 3 children. Can you imagine 32, 26 even? It's a lot. Once again, shout out to teachers. Have a great school year. And if you're watching this in the middle of the school year, you can do it. Have a great one, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.